Good morning. Magandang umaga po. Today we're going to talk about how do you plan for retirement. Do you really plan for retirement? Well, usually you do plan, and then after the planning process, you don't do anything, but periodically, maybe every 2 to 5 years, you have to update where am I now and where am I going to be and how am I going to survive when I retire. There are several ways to do retirement, but what we're going to talk about today is how you set aside money. You have a choice of getting into the program called the IRA. There's a so-called standard IRA or traditional IRA, I should say, and there's also a Roth IRA. And the third one is the self-managed IRA or self-directed IRA, I should say. Those are the three. Now, there's always 401k that's being offered by employers. And if I were you, I will look at that very closely because most of them matches 50 to 100% of what you contribute. Meaning, if you contribute $1,000 for the year, they will match it with another $1,000. So you put in $1,000 cash and you wind up with the $2,000 savings. So that is great. And some of them is slightly reduced, 50%. So for every dollar you put in, they contribute 50 cents. So you put in $1 and you immediately have $1.50. So that is a very, very quick way of increasing your wealth sufficiently for you to retire in the future. Now, I will give you the basic difference between IRA, Roth IRA, that's R-O-T-H, Roth IRA, and self-directed or self-managed IRA. Okay, so here goes. We're going to compare three things: the regular IRA, Roth IRA, and a self-directed IRA. Now, in footnote 1, you will see that the self-directed IRA, with the self-directed IRA, you can hold precious metals, commodities, real estate, and other sort of alternative investment that requires initiative and due diligence, which is not required in the case of a regular IRA or a Roth IRA. In the case of the regular IRA and Roth IRA, you're basically turning over your money to a trustee or a fund manager, and they will take care of managing the funds for you. In the case of self-directed, as the name implies, you are going to manage it yourself, and that is the reason why you are required to have the initiative to manage it and the due diligence to manage it. And I should add, you have to have the know-how. Okay. Now, contributions are deductible from current income. On regular IRA, yes, it is. On Roth IRA, no. On self-directed, depending on whether you decide to use a self-directed regular IRA, then it will be deductible. Or a self-directed Roth IRA, then the contributions are not deductible. So as I said, the only difference between self-directed is that you are managing it yourself, but you can select a regular IRA, self-directed regular IRA, or a self-directed Roth IRA. Now, plan earnings are taxable. Now, let me explain this further. I'll go back to the first one. Contributions are deductible from current income. Because the contributions are being deducted, I'll give you an example. Let's say you make $30,000 a year and you're contributing, say, $500 a month. So that's about $6,000 a year. If your W-2 comes in and you made $30,000, your W-2 will not show $30,000 in income. It should be without the $6,000 that you contributed to the IRA, meaning it will only show $24,000 of income. That means $6,000 of your income is shielded. Okay. Now, this is one of the biggest difference between these two. Your $6,000 contribution is deducted from your W-2 income, so it's not subject to tax. Whereas in Roth IRA, you will continue to pay tax on your entire $30,000 of income. Okay. Now, Plan earnings in both cases are not taxable. However, when the distribution, let's say you reach a retirement age, the distribution of the contributed amount and the earnings are taxable in the case of regular IRA because you did not pay any tax when you earn the money. When you collect the money, you will pay the tax. Here, it is not taxable because when you contributed the money, you pay the tax. Okay, what's that? Footnote number 3. You already paid tax when one makes contribution. This is called post-tax contribution. Whereas this footnote 2, this is what is referred to as pre-tax contribution. So you're contributing to the fund on a pre-tax basis, whereas here you're contributing to the fund on a post-tax basis. Is there tax if withdrawal is made before age 59 and a half? Yes, there is. The purpose of this regular IRA is that you're able to shield some of your contribution, deduct it from your income. So there is a penalty, okay, and I think the penalty is 10%, in addition to the regular tax. It will get taxed at a regular rate plus a 10% of the distributed amount or the withdrawn amount. Whereas in the Roth IRA, because you already paid your taxes on the money you're investing, there is no penalty. You will not even pay regular tax because you already paid tax when you made the contribution. What is the rule for self-directed? Well, it will vary depending on if you choose a regular IRA or a Roth IRA. Okay? Next, is there a penalty if withdrawal is made before 59 and a half? Of course, okay, because the rule on a regular IRA is at 59 and a half, you can start withdrawing. You can start withdrawing, but you don't necessarily have to without any penalty. Here, no penalty at all. Is there a required minimum distribution? Meaning, you may withdraw at 59 and a half, but at 72, you have to make a distribution. Okay? There has to be a distribution. Now, in the case of Roth, you're not required, so you can keep your money until your death, in which case the distribution will have to be made at your death. Now, on the self-directed IRA, if you choose self-directed regular IRA, yes, you will be required at age 70 and a half. Why this is 72 and why this is 70? I have no idea. Is this for savvy investors who knows alternative investment? No, it is not, because somebody is managing it for you. No, it is not, because somebody is managing it for you in the case of Roth. But here, yes, you better know what you're doing, or you can stand to lose the money. Must the plan be administered by a custodian or trustee? Yes, in all cases it has to be. Limited to common stock, bonds, mutual funds, and other securities? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But in the self-directed, no. As I mentioned here, you can invest it in precious metals, commodities, real estate, blah, blah, blah. Has contribution limit in 2020 6,000 or 7,000 if you're 50 and older? And yes, there's a limit. Yes, there's a limit. And here, there's also a limit, which is going to be the same depending on whether you choose regular IRA or Roth IRA, but self-directed. So, and the last one, has income limit before maximum contribution amount is reduced. That means these are the maximum contributions, but once you reach a certain amount, okay, the amount you can, a certain income level, your amount of contribution can be limited. Yes, that is in the case of Roth IRA, but no here. You can only make $10,000 and contribute $6,000 into a regular IRA. And this again is the same depending on whether you choose a regular IRA or a Roth IRA. Number 4, in 2020, one can contribute $6,000, $7,000 if income is less than $124,000 for single, $196,000 for joint filers. If income is greater, the contribution limit is reduced. How much is the reduction? You will have to explore that further. Okay, so again, The fundamental difference between the two is that regular IRA, you're able to deduct from your current income tax every year. Roth IRA, you do not. You just put the money in and hoping that you make earnings which will not be exposed to taxation. And because you're putting in money that you already paid tax for, there are no withdrawal restrictions, and there is no tax you have to pay when you withdraw it at retirement. Here, you are committed to leaving it until age 59 and a half, or you get penalized. Also, once you retire, the whole amount, the earnings as well as the contributed amount, will be subject to tax. There is a required minimum distribution here at age 72. There is no required minimum distribution until you die. When you pass away, that is when the whole thing becomes taxable. And of course, for self-directed IRA, it's at age 70 and a half. So now, here's the secret. Hopefully, you will be on a high income bracket during your working years and low to zero income bracket when you retire. Then you will survive for a long, long time. Now, take a look. Think about this. We generally start working at age 20. Maybe you're working at McDonald's, very low pay. And then as time goes on, our income goes up. As our income go up, the tax rate goes up as well. Okay, so what you want to do is to save some money now and deduct it while your tax rate is very high. And then when you retire and you have no more income other than your Social Security and pension, you will be at at the lowest tax bracket in your life. Then that is when you want to start making a withdrawal. Hopefully, between your Social Security, pension, and the small withdrawal you can make, you will survive. If you think you can survive, then you may be able to shield 100% or defer. No, I should say shield 100% of what you saved. It will not be subjected to tax. And if it gets subjected to tax, it will be at a lower rate. Now, let's say you're a business person. You own your own business. You have large income every year. It keeps on going up. And then when you retire, guess what? You're no longer working, but you're still making money and you're still paying high tax. In that case, it will be beneficial for you to use the Roth. For most people, I would recommend sticking with the regular IRA or self-directed regular IRA, or I think they also call the traditional IRA. Okay? So if you need more details on this, please do consult with your financial consultant. This just gives you the basic difference between the two or the three. There you have it. As you can see, the basic difference between the fundamental difference between IRA and Roth IRA is that on Roth IRA, you can withdraw the money anytime. There is no penalty. Okay? And on the traditional IRA, you are restricted from withdrawing. You can still withdraw it, but if you withdraw it, you will wind up paying a penalty. And sometimes it doesn't make sense for you to do an IRA and then withdraw it. So make sure you're not going to withdraw it. There is no event that would cause you to withdraw an IRA. That is the biggest thing about the difference between an IRA and a Roth IRA. The other difference is if you contribute $1,000, let's say you make $1,000 a week. This is just for example, okay? $1,000 a week, and you set aside $100. In a regular IRA, you deduct this $100 from your $1,000, so you only pay tax on the $900. So you're able to shelter the $100 contribution you made to the IRA from being taxed. However, when you retire, that is when it gets taxed. That is when it gets taxed. Unlike a Roth IRA, when you retire, you don't get taxed. Why? Because if you contribute $100, guess what? You still get taxed on your $1,000 income. It is not deducted from your gross wages. Okay? And for that reason, there is no withdrawal penalty. You can withdraw it anytime you want, and there is no restriction. At the end of your retirement, I mean working years, I should say, when you retire, at the end of your working years, and you start withdrawing this, you don't have to worry about any taxes. You have to worry about it on the traditional IRA. However, keep in mind that most people's income keeps going up. So if you're able to shelter this as the income grows, you're able to save money. Okay? Then when you retire, you only collect the minimum that you need, if you can afford to do that, to not tax the accumulated money that you have, so it does not get taxed. And if it gets taxed, well, most of the time when you retire, your income drops quite a bit, and therefore you're in a lower tax bracket, so you save some tax money on a traditional IRA. But again, if there is any chance you might need to go to the hospital, I know it's difficult for you to forecast, but you alone can judge that. If you think you will buy another house in a few years, if you think your children will be going to college and you may need to withdraw it, then go with the Roth. Okay? But if you're going to think that way, meaning, I could withdraw it any time, then you're not really saving. So this is like a forced savings, and you're not supposed to touch it. But if you want the freedom to touch it, go with the Roth. Otherwise, stay with traditional IRA. That is the basic difference. Okay? So hopefully you like this. And if you know other people who might appreciate this information also, please do share it with them. And I'll appreciate your subscribing. Thank you so much, and make it a great day.